Hi kids, Mom here. I am cooking quinoa. It is an Indian dish, and here is your Cooking for the Kids lesson number 3. Ingredients that you need are chopped onions, minced garlic. There's 4 cloves of minced garlic there. And then I also grated ginger, and I used a little over an inch of cut ginger. And I used the grater to do so. This is the grater. I also chose to use ground turkey. It's cheaper. It takes the red meat out of your dad's diet. So we are using ground turkey, and it just tastes just as good as ground beef. You can use either or though. You're also going to need green peas, kosher salt, black pepper, my favorite, a can of diced tomatoes, paprika, coriander, garam masala, cumin, apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put all these dry ingredients into a mixer or pestle mortar soon. Naan is always a nice thing to add to it. I always put it on top of the dish at the end. And I am taking grapeseed oil. I love to use grapeseed oil for Indian dishes. It just is better than olive oil. The flavoring's not so intense, and it just does a great job. So get you some grapeseed oil. It's relatively cheaper than olive oil as well. So I'm just gonna warm up the oven to 400. I'm only gonna put it in for 5 to 8 minutes. You just have to kind of watch it so it doesn't burn. And I used whole wheat naan, but you can use any kind of naan. I'm using a cast iron pan again, so we only go to medium. Just putting some grapeseed oil in here. Okay. Gonna cook the onions first. So let's set it to medium, no higher than that. You should always start a cast iron with some oil or something in it. If it has the lighter inside. I'm gonna use a wooden spatula today. I always like to salt my onions. I just sprinkle some stuff there. And then I also use pepper. And that's what it's gonna cook itself in. Okay. So we're just gonna let it heat up, brown these onions. What I put into this is a teaspoon of coriander, a teaspoon of garam masala, okay, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of Spanish paprika, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm going to just mix them all together so it's evenly dispersed. Okay. It's ready to go. I'm going to keep mixing it and pause. Dumping them in. Just stir it a bit so it starts to have a fragrance. Okay, I can smell the fragrance with the ginger and the garlic. Now it's time to put the meat in. Go ahead and just sprinkle some salt on that meat and some pepper. And then start breaking it apart. Got salt and pepper on it, and just sprinkle, get it into the onions. Check it out. Try to scrape all the brown stuff, but we're going to get that a little bit later if we can't get it off. Wood spoons are great for getting the bottom stuff up. You might have to do some muscles. So just cook it until it gets brown, and still just try to scrape as you go. At this time, you should also put your naan into the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes while you're cooking this. After it cooks, you're going to want to drain the liquid out of here. So I'm going to get ready to do that. Take it over to the sink and kind of, you can put it in a colander, or you can try to drain it out of the pan. Okay, so I drained it. Now I'm taking all that mixture I did, dumping it on here on top. Okay, I'm just gonna like let it all get inside of it and mix it into the dry. Let it kind of get fragrant with the heat of the pan. You can start smelling it. It's gonna start smelling pretty good as it cooks a little bit before we put in the tomatoes. I've used fresh tomatoes too, but since I'm in a hurry tonight, I'm just using diced in a can. So, starting to smell it, fragrant. It's all mixed in nice. So, let it kind of settle in there. I kept all my spices because I like to taste it, and if I feel like it needs some more spice, I'll put some more in it. Okay, now I'm going to get my diced tomatoes. Dumped my diced tomatoes in there, and now I'm just going to make kind of like a sauce. You're going to also want a little bit of chicken broth in here too, because it looks kind of dry. So I forgot to take that out to show you earlier, but I like to put a little bit of chicken broth in this. So I'm going to do that shortly. So I kind of just eyeball it, and I'm just going to go around it to give it some moisture. And then it's also creating that sauce too with the broth. Okay, and then I'm going to get the bottom stuff I didn't get earlier. Get all that flavor, scrape it. That's why I like wood spoons. They're the best at getting that stuff done. Okay. I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. Let it start bubbling, and then I'm going to put the peas in. It's bubbling, so let's put the peas in. And there are frozen peas, so they're going to need to cook in there for a little bit, okay? So I'm just going to mix it all in. Just let it cook for maybe another 5 minutes or so, until the peas like thaw and get flavored. So there's enough liquid in there. You don't want it too liquidy. You just want to have it just enough. It's really a meaty type dish. Pure protein pretty much, which is what you need. Okay, I just took a taste. I'm going to put in just a little bit more salt. Okay. Just a little sprinkle. I'm also going to put in a half teaspoon of cumin and a half teaspoon of garam masala, just because some of it is cooked out a little bit, and I want to make sure I have that flavor. So for this dish, and we vary every time, I'm going to put a half cumin and a half garam masala. Always let it cook a bit more after you add spices, because It takes a while for it to flourish, so let it cook in a little bit before you taste it again. Gonna mix it all in there. Going in to taste it. It's pretty good. Just ready for the finishing touch. So what I need to do now is to put 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in it. 1, 2. Mix it thoroughly. Let it cook in. You can also use malt vinegar, but I like the apple cider vinegar for this. Let it cook in. We do not need any more vinegar. That will just, this does not do more than 2. Let it cook in there for a little bit. This will feed 4 people easily. For your dad and I, it's going to be a 2-day meal, but most of the time it's a 1-day meal. I'm going to taste it for the last time, hopefully. Yummy. Tastes great. I'm ready to plate. I'm going to turn off my burner. The burner's turned off. Scoop your keema into a bowl and then just top it and it's ready to eat. And I normally take a spoon and just put it on top of the naan as I eat it. It's up to you. Alright, enjoy.